would people be surprised to know about you?
I'm pretty open about things, so I don't know what people wouldn't know that they don't already.
How many people have you killed?
Only a couple. I'm a long-haired design hippie, so I don't think people are like that surprised. But I think something I'd say is like I take my work very seriously, but I don't take myself seriously. I think it's easy to go down this design this and strategy that and all that, and get like really worked up over things. It's like we're not saving lives. Let's have a good time. That's kind of the way I approach all this stuff.
Our guest today is a lettering typography designer and art creative director whose visually arresting work has impacted brands including Ray-Ban, Pacifico, Hilton, HP, the Sacramento Kings, and the LA Times. His work has twice been featured in Communication Arts Typography Annual and graced the Graphis International Design Annual 4 times. Alex, great to have you with us here today.
Glad to be here.
We're going to focus the conversation today on type. Particularly your body of illustrative type is amazing. It's super, super beautiful, stunning. Is your regular handwriting legible?
No, it's terrible. It's kind of like Dr. Chicken Scratch.
Stepping back a little bit, did you have like an aha moment?
I knew I was going to go into the creative field. Like that was never a debate. Since I was a kid, I was always doodling and everything and always super curious. Then I chose design because to me it made the most sense for a career. Like I'm not going to lie and say I know the ins and outs of design, but I knew that I could figure something out with that. And then I started focusing more and more on type and kind of started become known for that and getting jobs for that. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to start leaning into this. If you'd asked me when I was a kid if that's what I would have done, I would have been like, what the hell? Like I didn't even know what typography was, but I'm doing what I was meant to be doing.
Share with us a piece of art or typographic expression that absolutely inspired you and made you want to create.
In terms of inspiration, juggernauts like Jessica Hish and Lauren Hom and like all these people, just like phenomenal work, and just studying them and kind of seeing how they handle these letter combinations. You'll be battling something and then you'll take a break and you'll be like, oh man, they solved it. Then you like maybe approach it from a different angle. So you think you would have all these little combinations figured out, but they happen because there'll be a different style, you know? Like even if you're doing the same style of lettering and the words change, it's like a totally different puzzle. It's always fresh.
Why is type even important? Why do we give a damn?
Everything we see and interact with, usually there's information, and whether it's beautiful or it's kind of taken a back seat, it's important. People care more than they think they do, even if it's subconscious. You only notice if it doesn't work. Like a lot of the best design is invisible. It's whatever's right for that story. And I think that's like what the best typographers are all about. It's kind of like feeling out what's the best solution for that problem. One of my favorite projects is the Texas Monthly one, and I knew when I read the line on that Mr. Steelogramma, I was like, this is going to be badass. Like, it basically boiled down to, you need to have attitude, but keep it loose. It isn't supposed to be perfect, like maybe your baseline shifts, and maybe certain letters are bigger and some are smaller, but that's like the point of it. Because I had done a first draft, and it was like a little too tight, and the CD was like looser. That was like a fun process to go through, and I think that the result I'm super stoked with.
Well, as a designer, what are the things that go through your mind? You're at the very first part of the project, you're thinking about the client, the brand, the opportunity, and like what are the types of things you need a typeface to accomplish?
There's a bunch of little things, but feel and hierarchy are definitely like up there. Like if it's a really human-centric brand and it needs to be approachable, I think about that. That's like pretty high on the list when I'm like vetting fonts. It's so much more fun when you're collaborating too. I love working with writers and I love getting lines from people and be like, you just know right away when you look at it, this is going to be fun, especially with like lettering, because certain things will lend themselves better to certain treatments than others, and you can either battle it or you can change the line and just get a way better end result.
How have you helped clients see the business value of a stylistic typographic choice?
To me, it's about something you can own. And I take all my clients through this process. I include them as much as possible in the sketches, and they see the value there. You can't just find this anywhere else and buy a font or whatever. I mean, there's a bunch of great fonts out there, but it's different. Lettering is designed for the specific words, not like a system, like an alphabet with like a font, right? And it's pretty tedious. There's a lot of work that goes into it.
Do you start with paper? Do you immediately jump into iPad? Or like, what's it like for you in creating?
I sketch everything no matter what. I can let mistakes go like way easier, and it's more about general to specific. And then I'll scan things in and manipulate them digitally sometimes, and that's the other added bonus of that. It's like you can get some process and textures and things and accidents that you would have not gotten the other way that you might use in the final. But for me, it's really freeing. When I travel, I almost always bring my iPad on the plane and I'll do something, and almost every time the person sitting next to me is like, I had no idea people actually did this by hand. I thought it was just like typed out in a computer, and I'm like, we exist, we're here. There's not that many of us, I don't think, but I call it a labor of letters. There's a lot of elbow grease that goes into it for sure.
What was it like to get into your first big magazine?
It's like kind of weird and anticlimactic too, because it's like, you know what I mean?
Why something visual or beautiful or powerful? Like, why do we need the arts in what we do in communications?
I think the better things look, the more interesting things are, the better odds you have. Same reason why people listen to music instead of like white noise.
Like, if I'm a business, I'm a corporation, like, why do we need human experiences or to hit the heart to affect fortunes of brands?
Empathy. If you want to show your empathy and you care about the world, you care about your customers, you can empathize with like a human experience, human artwork, like real people made this. It does make a difference in my opinion. It's just not like machines spitting out stuff. And that's the thing, there's always some initiative behind it. I'm just happy to play a little part, making type for people if that's what they need, but it's fun.
So last question, papyrus, great typeface or greatest typeface?